So you're taking a PJ.
I'm taking my plane.
So you bought one.
I've had a plane for like 10 years.
Okay.
I feel like we should start like the code open should be Ryan saying, I've had a plan for like 10 years. And just go
because I was like
episode. Like just go
I had
like
so many questions.
So I'm really high and like brutally honest. So I'm just gonna say this. I had a conversation with somebody earlier today about the podcast. I haven't talked to him in a very long time. He was like, how's ASOS going? How are the guys doing? At least how are some of the guys doing? I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, I listened to the episode and I'm trying to get an idea of who the guys are. It's like, there's apparently James said something in an episode a long time ago that there's a contingent of people that listen to our show that have not forgiven him for it, which is that he dropped something about having a Rolex in high school and motherfuckers will not let that shit go. They're saying that he's out of touch. It sounds like he's some privileged ass spoiled kid. Like he gave me the full break. I'm like, I don't even remember him saying that. Apparently you did.
Yeah. I had a Rollie in high school and I lost it. Like somebody stole my locker and like it is what it is. It's a watch.
Then you deserve that. But
I know it's a watch. It's cool.
You deserve that.
At the same time, no, you deserve that because why are you fucking wearing your Rollie in high school? Like, no, like you can have it, but like wear it not to school, fucker.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, here's the thing. I don't care. I just feel like people like have to stop hating. Poor people have to stop hating people with money. Okay, like, just because James had fucking money, it's not his fucking fault. Like, or like, I don't know how he got the role. He could have stole the shit. They don't know that.
He did not steal the shit.
Yeah, I can confirm
that. Come on. But you couple that with the last episode, the Unequal Opinions episode we did. James, what's your first car? Oh, an Audi A4.
And he should be able to celebrate his privilege. That's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just saying ASOS has become out of touch. ASOS is out of touch. We're not the common man.
My first car was a 1992 Town and Country minivan. So,
and now you got PJs. Now we here, huh?
I had a 2002 two-door Pontiac Grand Dam.
Ooh, that's a nice car though. That's a nice car though.
It was the funniest part to me is like I don't think y'all understand why I'm pissed off at Ryan about the damn plane.
Because you work for a plane company.
Bought it from you.
Yeah.
No, my plane's like in the 6 digits, not like the 8 digits, which is what you sell.
I mean, not no more, but
yeah, I don't know.
This conversation is pissing me off. As the honorary broke boy of the group, fuck off.
Oh, shut up.
Motherfucker, y'all remember me sleeping in the school parking lots doing Lyft overnight.
And then what do you now?
I'm living in my parents' basement. The struggle is still real, sir. There's printers behind me. I can't hide it. It's not mine.
Say, James, like, why would you ask that? Like,
nah, because I have conversation with this guy. Like, he's trying to act like
I'm making moves, but there's still this.
Yeah, some big ass moves. So
moves are being made.
I don't hear that shit.
Just saying, we need to be more with the people. We're a podcast of the people.
Hey, just because the people broke don't mean we gotta be.
Yeah,
like, listen, I am not a part of that. I used to be that, and I empathize with that, but I am not that anymore. Like, I just want to say that.
I get. Hold on, we don't have to be that anymore, but there's a certain element you ain't got to flaunt it. I mean, we say those.
You ain't got to watch. Hey, fuck that. No, I'm a front whatever the fuck I work hard for. I'm 30, bro. I went to college. I put in work, and the work is showing itself. It is showing itself. It's coming to fruition, and that is okay.
Yeah,
and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you can look forward to my own different podcast network called Generation Me. I'm going to be talking about politics and other things that can't be seen with these folks. I'm gonna put that out there. I ain't even talking about fucking communism and PJs and Audis in fucking high school. Oh, I just lost a Rolex. You know, it ain't no thing.
Well, I think we do have to get to
look. At the end of the day, material items don't mean shit. You can't.
They don't. But if you can fucking afford them, to go off. Like if you can't go off, material items don't mean shit though. I agree with you. But gold retains value. So outside of that,
it's an investment.
Yeah. So are cars at this point.
Goddamn cash for clients.
I want to talk about Well, let's start with the Super Bowl recap. What did you guys think? Ryan, I kind of want to start with you because you're the only one out of us that
wrong.
And I think it was, I think everybody knew you were going to get it wrong, but I would like you to speak about it.
Yo, what a game. First off, it was almost a storybook ending because Cooper Kupp caught the last touchdown. That dude, I've been trying to find something wrong with him. There's still nothing. He's like, but he's like, this is about my teammates. This isn't about me. Like I don't deserve the MVP. It's like, so like
it's uncomfortable up there.
Lineman, yeah. But what a game. Is exactly what I expected it to be. 3-point game. I will say though, Jamar Chase was wide the fuck open on that last play.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, Aaron Donald.
It don't even matter.
Donald
that's not Burrow's fault. But, like he was getting killed.
No, I'm not saying it's Burrow's fault. Like Donald, if one person was going to make the play there, right? It was either the lineman or Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald won.
Even if the lineman blocked him for an extra 2 seconds.
Oh, Jamar Chase was wide open.
Yeah, but Burrow was not looking over there. He was looking on the other side of the field.
Right. Your progression shouldn't take you more than a second. So 2 seconds.
2 seconds is a lifetime. I don't know.
Yeah, all right, fine.
2 seconds. Jesus.
If
that being
the
said,
lineman chipped Donald, it still would have been an L.
But we all thought Burrow was never going to have time to get the ball off, etc. Ended up kind of happening that way. But man, the Bengals are good, and they're going to be good next year. And they're going to be good the year after that.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that because I'm going to go to KDot after I make this point. Dan Marino. Hey, they're going to be good for a long time. They're going to do it for a long, long time.
Did you see Jim Kelly commenting?
Over time. It's happened like he's not the only one, but I just want to point to him first because he was like one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But it's happened before when we say shit like, oh, yeah, this team's going to be good for a long time. They said the fucking Seahawks were going to be in the Super Bowl for like forever in the future. The bitches made it twice, and that was it. Like, I'm just saying, like, this might have been the last time that they ever will appear in the Super Bowl. It might very well be the last time. And I think it's a fair thing to say. And it's not just necessarily because like the Bengals franchise is historically inept or anything. It's just like, it's a law. It's just a historically, it's hard for franchises to get back. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. It is insanely hard. A lot of things have to fall correct in your way. And a lot of things fell for the Bengals this year. They'd have to fall in the future. But besides that point, KDot, what's your just reflect on the Super Bowl a little bit? How did you feel about it? And then you can talk about if you think the Bengals are ever going to come back.
Thank you for telling me how to do that. I was just confused. I was actually confused. I'm high as shit.
Just to be clear.
Thanks,
James don't be hosting like I host.
No, you understood. You can see exactly where I was. It was very nicely done.
I want to just be clear. I didn't say they're going to come back to the Super Bowl. I just said they're going to be a very good team for like a number of years. Because they have a young, solid squad, and it's clear what they need to fix, right? So
yeah. Just like the Texans with Deshaun. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I know what you're saying.
So the Super Bowl.
You see what I'm saying?
A very entertaining night from the halftime show to the action as far as the end of the game. Not necessarily good football most of the game. Not necessarily good coaching the best of the game. By the end of it, the thing that I really took away was that these were not the two best teams of football, even though they did what they needed to do to get to that point. I think we saw the Super Bowl in the sense of the two best teams in that divisional round with the Bills and the Chiefs. Like that's what that was. That's not to take anything away from the Bengals and nothing away from the Rams. You got to kind of have the combination of luck and getting through and just facing the adversity and getting through on the other end, which brings me to that point that you guys were kind of discussing as far as the future of the Cincinnati Bengals. The AFC is fucking stacked, guys. And everything had to fall exactly in place for the Cincinnati Bengals to get through, including the Kansas City Chiefs turning into bizarro Chiefs in the second half of that fucking game, where I don't know, we might not need to go into the Eric Bieniemy shit and all that, but it was a gigantic collapse, and I don't see that necessarily happening again. They even look in that division. You think Baltimore's not going to be in the dance next year? Pittsburgh, as much as they need a quarterback, I mean, they're 1 year away from it's Pittsburgh. I'm not going to take anything away from they're going to be in position in a year or two. So if I'm looking at Cincinnati and I'm saying the same thing that I've been saying all year as far as not only the offensive line, but my concern as far as Joe Burrow not necessarily protecting himself enough was one of those things where I'm like, even if they do run it back next year, is Joe Burrow even going to be upright by the time the fucking playoffs happen? Because I'm sorry, no human can take the beating that he's taking and still go out there and take. I love his mentality that he can always go out there and play, but from a physical standpoint, you're not going to be able to do that shit. And I'm looking at like the Chargers. We all think Justin Herbert's getting better. That's a team that's supposed to be getting better. Then if we're looking at some of the quarterbacks that might be going to the AFC, we're hearing Aaron Rodgers in fucking Denver possibly, or Russell Wilson on the move to the AFC potentially. Is it going to be an easier road for Cincinnati to just get there? Absolutely not. And that's why I have a problem with always have a problem with teams drafting a quarterback too quickly when they don't have the offensive line. Joe Burrow is the exception to the rule, just being the fact that he's just that unique of a guy. But still, he's going to get his brains bashed in next year again if they don't do some serious addressing. And usually it takes a little bit to turn around an offensive line, especially if you need to rework from scratch.
I want to thank Joe Burrow for covering the spread, though.
One last
thing. I told him he would. I said that the Rams would win by 3. I told him because I think it was 4, right?
Yeah,
it was 4.
One last thing. Aaron Donald is already on the Mount Rushmore of defensive players. He's already there. Okay. This solidified it. But I think what really put it on was the fact that move where he pushed Joe Burrow out of bounds and the Bengals responded in kind. Aaron Donald turned it up 2 notches. And that is the mark. When you had like a Lawrence Taylor could be on the sideline, Bill Parcells says, go win us the game. All right, coach, like Bobby Boucher, just fucking run out there and make shit happen. Aaron
Give
Donald.
me the ball, Bobby.
Why in the world would you ever want to make this man mad? Just saying. Cincinnati did themselves no favors by getting in that man's face.
James?
All right. So NFL Films recorded all that, right? Sean McVay's on the sideline saying he's going to make a play. Sure enough, he did. Okay. So we all knew the Rams were going to win. If OBJ was out there, it would have been worse.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
14-point win. 14-point win easily.
OBJ would have been the MVP of the Super Bowl because he was well on his way to setting records. He was having a fucking game. All right. Outside of that, looking forward with the Bengals, right? Like you guys said, there's a shit ton of teams in the AFC, right? I am a little bit bullish on the Bengals like all you are, just for this fact. They're, I think, like top 4 in terms of cap space. They got like 48 million in cap space, right? And they can spend all that shit on offensive line because God knows they need it. Everybody knows they need it. And then outside of that, the Super Bowl window that we've been talking about ad nauseum like forever is just the rookie QB contract. Joe Burrow's still in his rookie QB deal. That's the Super Bowl window, as you know, like outside of Brady, because Brady's Brady. So the next couple years, like they have a shot, but you also got to remember, like, guess who has the most cap space in the NFL, or the second most? The Chargers. I mean, if they get their hell they ass, which I don't know if they ever will, but if they do, then they have a great shot just because they have Herbert.
Yep.
Yeah.
It all starts
That's
with the
my thoughts.
quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I think what the clear issues for the Bengals are, they need a linebacker and they need an offensive line. But once you shore those up, they have a lot of really young pieces.
Yep.
So I'm not saying they're going to be Super Bowl contenders every year, but they're going to be a very good team that's playing a lot of other very good teams. So it's going to be, I mean, AFC is going to be fun as fuck to watch next year.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. And I think with all the, and I was thinking about this the other night, I think with all the elite quarterback play, potentially, if we have like the Aaron Rodgerses and the Russell Wilsons, if they are all in the AFC, if you have like a lot of top tier quarterbacks, I think the running back situation for each of those teams is going to become a little bit more important. just because they're going to be scheming. If every quarterback is a top 10, they're going to be scheming a lot for the quarterback play. So if you find yourself running the ball really well against defenses when they're scheming for, a mostly, 300-yard passer every game, I think that's going to be pretty interesting to watch next year.
Here's my thing about the Bengals. I'll say that usually, historically, Super Bowl losers don't necessarily fare well the next year. And if you can look up the statistics and things like that, and actually in the last decade, Super Bowl losers got a little bit better and started to fare a little bit better. Started to fare better. But even then, they struggle. Like they'll start out the gate struggling, like the Chiefs did last year. Just like what is going on and things like that. But I also think the difference between how teams will look at the Bengals this upcoming season as opposed to this season is I feel like similar to how a bunch of fans viewed the Bengals is it's going to look at like, oh, okay, like you're not a fledgling franchise anymore, and we're going to take you seriously, and we're going to come at you, bro. We're going to give you everything we got. And I envision that they won't make the playoffs. That is just my early prediction. They might end up making it. Hey, great, good for them. They wouldn't have won a division if Lamar Jackson doesn't get hurt. They wouldn't even won that division. Probably still make the playoffs, but they don't win that division. And so I just think next year will be telling for them. Actually, it won't be telling because I think historically we should I won't even count that. It'll be what they do the year after that to see if they're actually still good and things of that nature. And so moving on from that, do you guys think that Aaron Donald should have won MVP?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go as far as should have. If he would have got it, I would have been okay with it. Completely fine. I would have been great with it.
I think what ended up happening is kind of what after Cooper caught the game-winning touchdown, or what ended up being the game-winning touchdown, man, Triple Crown, offensive player, and they were like, let's make this as historic as it can be, right?
I agree with you. I think that's why he should have won regular season MVP. But I agree with you.
And I think they were just like, this is already an historic season for any receiver. Let's make it just a little bit more, because he was it was either him or Aaron Donald, right? If OBJ had been in there, it would have probably been OBJ. But Cooper Kupp, look, I don't think Cooper wanted it. I don't think Aaron wanted it. I don't think either of them wanted it. They just wanted their fucking ring and to go home. So I think it's kind of an afterthought, but it could have been either. There's an argument to be made, but obviously offensive players can be a little bit more flashy.
Okay.
It's usually a quarterback, right? So
yeah. And speaking of, I'm so glad you said that. Great segue, my guy. Is Stafford a Hall of Famer?
No.
Straight up. No? Okay. KDot?
Not yet.
Not yet from James. KDot?
Not yet. Not yet.
Right.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, Ryan, I was gonna start with James, but because you said I think so, I want you to start.
So it's like NFL is like a what have you done for me lately league, and I get that. But this guy has had like excellent numbers playing on one of the shittiest franchises in the shittiest city that always plays on fucking Thanksgiving and ruins my 4:00 nap. And they put him on a half competent team, a very half competent team, for one season, and he wins a Super Bowl. I get it. There's luck involved. They had a very good defensive players. He didn't have OBJ the whole season. We didn't know Cooper Kupp was this guy. I guess some other people in the NFL knew it because they had been saying it for a couple of years. But look, he comes to a franchise. They win a Super Bowl year one. He is now a Super Bowl winner. He's got the yardage marks. He's better than other people who are even in the conversation in terms of stats. And he's got a Super Bowl. Is he? I think he's a Hall of Fame candidate now. Let's see where in 3 years, I think there's going to be no debate that he's going to be in there, because that team's going to be good for a while.
Okay, I want to go to James next, but before I just kind of wanted to ask you, Ryan, so you don't give any credence to what Richard Sherman was talking about, was one Pro Bowl, no All Pros, no MVPs, that kind of thing. I know he played in Detroit, but I'm just asking.
But people are like, oh, he had Megatron. I was like, he had Megatron, right? And they never built a team around him. So if you're asking, is the player a Hall of Famer? I think so. the teams he were on was just garbage, but he was still putting up numbers even with very average people around him and just a trash can of a franchise, right? If they had any other quarterback in there, they would have gotten like 2-win seasons constantly. So I get that they're discounting him, but like Dan Marino had no Super Bowls. Like it's just there's no benchmark for what makes it. But I think as a whole, now after this Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
These are the same people who are like Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer. And I'm like, what's the benchmark then? Right? It's tough. Like if
I don't think Eli. I think I wouldn't be mad if Eli got in, but I also don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
But it's like, is it accolades? Is it yards passed? Is it like what you did during the regular season? Is it your Super Bowl victories? Like I think
it's just that's a good question. I'm with you, right? Like I think like that's a good question. I think it's more so like I just think it's weird to say, but I just think when you see it, and I don't see it with those two. But,
right.
but I'm not gonna.
He beat a dynasty team twice in the Super Bowl.
He did, and other than those 2 years, he was pretty much just okay.
But is that enough? Like if you have 2 like Golden Slugger seasons in baseball, is that good enough? Sometimes.
I'm glad you brought up baseball because I think the Baseball Hall of Fame is a sham, and
the Hall of Fame's a sham. It's a Hall of Very Good, and it kind of has been.
I think all of them have their issues, including football.
Yeah.
Sure. Kim, I'm glad you brought up Richard Sherman's point, right? Where he said, like, looking at it, has he ever made All-Pro? Like, has he ever been the best QB in the league in any year? And the answer is no. So, and then people were like, well, how is he going to get through like Rodgers, Brady, and all these other people? And he's like, yeah, that's my point. Like, those guys are Hall of Famers. He's not. Like, it just is what it is at this point in time. And then it's like, you had Megatron. Megatron's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Like, just look at him.
So why is he a Hall of Fame wide receiver? Who was tossing him the rock?
Okay, again, let me ask you this question. Wait. King, let me ask you this question. All right, so look at it the same way how we look at Dak Prescott. Those teams were fucking terrible defensively to where Dak Prescott was putting up monster-ass numbers in the fourth quarter on, like, the comebacks, which Matt Stafford is, like, the king of. You know why? Because the team is shit, and they're always down.
Right, but the Dallas Cowboys are a good team. You put Matt Stafford on a good team for one year.
The Cowboys are not a good team, man. Like, we all think the Cowboys are a good team just because of the whole media machine behind it. They're not a good team.
I think they were a good team this year, but I know what you mean, James. I know what you mean. I think this year they were, but historically because they played in a shitty conference. I mean, a shitty division. You're like, they're not really good. I think that's fair. I'm not trying to poke fun, KDot. I'm not. They're not. But they're not. That division Detroit produces bad. A lot of manure.
That's fair. They're not Detroit bad, but that goes further to my point. They're always down, so you have to throw the ball. And then you have Megatron, just throw that shit through him. Like, Matt Stafford is not bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but is he Mahomes? Is he Aaron Rodgers? Is he Tom Brady? No.
Well, he's got as many Super Bowls as 2 out of 3 of those people you just mentioned.
I will say,
you know why? Because he went to a team that was already stacked. Like, they leveraged the whole future for now.
There are highlights of Matthew Stafford throwing into triple coverage to Calvin Johnson and completing the passes. I'm just saying, like, that does help. That did help him a lot.
It's Calvin, man. Like, he's
because he also had the most pick sixes of a quarterback in recent history in this past year. Because I'm just saying, and like more than fucking Matt Schaub, which is ridiculous. But I'm just saying. And I
haven't heard Matt Schaub in a while.
Can I hop in?
Yeah.
So
didn't I just say it, KDot?
Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said it. No, why
really
do you say it?
I'm sorry, I'm high. I'm actually like apologetic. I'm not trying to be confrontational in that at all. I agree with Keem probably more than anybody as far as the eye test thing, right? Like, I think you know it when you see it when it comes to Hall of Famer, at least first ballot, right? Then we start getting inside again the nitty gritty as far as like, all right, well, what gets you there? So some of the names get brought up, like Eli Manning. I think the thing that's slept on with Eli Manning, as far as I think he's right on the cusp of a Hall of Famer, absolutely not a first ballot, but I think he should get in. Is the and the one reason I'll never forgive Ben McAdoo, he was the Iron Man at quarterback. The idea of the fact that he stood there for that long at the starting position at quarterback and never missed it. Like the fact that you could turn on the TV from like 04 up until Ben McAdoo did that bullshit. And every single Sunday, Eli Manning was out there doing what he could do, especially with a lot of offenses that in the grand scheme of things, they would get a receiver every once in a while that was like top notch when they had like Plexico for that little bit of time but he wasn't necessarily dealing with the best crop of offense usually when he was rocking. It was usually the defense that would come on late in the season. And then when Eli had to show up, he would show up. And that's to me is that what do you do with the opportunities that are given you? Matt Stafford, before this offseason, Matt Stafford was my number one wish as far as for the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders. And the reason being is that I have watched a lot of Matt Stafford. His fourth quarter comebacks alone, to me, are the thing that passed the eye test. And I get what you're saying, James, to a certain degree, but you also got to realize they also name running backs that were worth a damn in Detroit. They never had a run game, and they never had a defense. Like, that's the thing. They might have, like, a running back that every once in a while they'd have, like, some on-the-cusp name, maybe get to close to 1,000 yards. But beyond that, never double-digit touchdowns. And they never had anything that could sustain anything on offense that could help out even a defense or even give Matt a break. Usually he was having to come back from being 30 points down, 20 points down. Like, it was ridiculous in Detroit. Then you're also talking about a division where you have Aaron Rodgers you're playing twice a fucking year. You got a Chicago defense is always in the conversation somehow. And then you got a Minnesota Vikings team that's always up and down, up and down, up and down. You never quite know. The only thing that was always for sure was Detroit never had a good actual team put together around Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson. But look, when push get, and then you look at this year, the moment he actually has a squad around him, a team, trust me, he did a lot of stuff in games that almost lost them games. But that's the risk you take with Matt Stafford. The same way you look at some of the greatest gunslingers in the history of the league. They take chances. And that's the thing that you got. They always take chances. They're not afraid to take chances. Keem, you got something stat-wise?
I was just looking. I just wanted to look at the running backs to kind of like add to your point. Javid Best, Mikael Ashore, Reggie Bush.
Reggie
Amir
was nice.
Theo Riddick, LeGarrette.
He wasn't Miami Bush.
Kerryon Johnson.
Thank you very much. They didn't have a fucking team. They had two guys trying to make everything work. When you had a defense that every time Matt Stafford would score a touchdown, the defense would give up 8 points. It'd be like a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I have a question for you.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
I have a question for you right now.
Yeah.
So if you look at the QBs in the league right now, who does Matt Stafford get in the Hall of Fame over?
I look at the QBs in the league right now. Who's a Hall of Famer?
And who, like, so if you had to have a tier list of, all right, these guys are going in the Hall of Fame. Like, I'm not sure yet.
There's only two guarantees in the league right now. Tom, I guess he's out, and Aaron.
Okay, so no Russ?
I don't think Russ is a guarantee. Who's out? Who else is in there?
Because I think Patrick's at this point. I really do. I think
Patrick's already in.
I think he's in.
That would be my next. That would be the next guy.
In 5 years is better than Stafford's, and we're
saying. All right, I'm just saying. I'll tell you right. If
who's the running backs that Pat had?
Running backs Pat Mahomes is that?
Yeah, it's just a random question.
Oh, I don't know. Kansas City's run game kind of fell off in those last. Andy Reid's trying to make it work at the running back position, but it hasn't.
We don't. Andy Reid doesn't give a fuck about.
Well, but I just look at all those years that Kansas City was known for having one of the best running attacks in the league, like those Trent Green
Jamal
years.
Charles, and then he left, and Priest
even before Jamal Charles, Priest Holmes and the Larry Johnson and the Nile Davis and the Kansas City was lit as far as that offensive line. That was the thing. Their offensive line was always the top in the league.
People you can remember their names.
Okay, can I just give you guys one thing real quick? Yeah. Talking about Hall of Fame. Donovan McNabb, Steve McNair, Jeff Garcia, Jake Delhomme, Rondell Cunningham. Any of those better than the Stafford guy?
Not unarguably. Randall's the only one that I'm like, he's the top. Randall and Donovan. And Donovan. If Donovan's claim is the 4 NFC title games in a row. That's Donovan's thing. But Matt has a Super Bowl now. Matt has a Super Bowl now.
Plunkett.
And the thing is, like, I don't even think Matt has to get back to the Super Bowl. If he just puts up enough good numbers with the team that he has and the Super Bowl, it's hard. Like, I get the over 50,000 threshold is not going to mean as much as it used to, period. The way the league has moved. But it's what did you do when you had the opportunities? Matt has just never really had the opportunities.
Okay.
It's the same way about Joe Flacco. Like, if you tell me,
I was about to bring up Flacco,
but that's the thing is,
because whose Super Bowl run was better?
Flacco, easy.
Right.
Flacco is a top 5 playoff quarterback of all time. Like, that's the I'm not even being hyperbolic. Like, and that's the thing with Flacco is that Flacco, given the opportunity, the only thing with Flacco is in the regular season, most times he didn't do shit. At least nothing would mark to say that you were doing anything crazy. But when he
didn't lose games. He didn't lose games.
That's Flacco, true. You have Joe Flacco and Eli Manning, right? I think Joe Flacco was better in the playoffs overall. Eli Manning has more championships. Then Eli Manning also has the Iron Man thing. I'm elevating him just above Joe Flacco, regardless of who it is. If I need to be a playoff run, I'm probably picking Joe Flacco over damn near anybody, right? But Matt Stafford's right there in that cusp. If he gets another Super Bowl, it's over. He's it. But if he's right now in that, you get 2 Super Bowls over 50,000 yards, he's in.
All right, so you touched on this point before, right? Where you said, like when you said nowadays these yards like don't mean as much.
It's the combination
of the league, right? All right, hold on, hear me out.
Yeah.
I have a trivia question for you. Who's the only QB to win multiple Super Bowls that is not in the Hall of Fame?
Ooh.
Plunkett?
I can answer?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I don't know. I just like, okay.
Ooh. Hold on. Other than Eli Manning?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Eli's up yet, right? So I don't think
he's not up. You say somebody that's eligible? Is it a Raider?
Is it Troy? No, Troy's in the Hall of Fame.
No, Hall Troy's in. Is it a Raider?
Yeah.
Jim Plunkett.
Yep. So, I mean, if Eli doesn't get in for a while, like, I guess same shit. I mean, okay. Like, I heard somebody else, like, I think they had a Hall of Fame vote that said this, like, can they tell your story, right?
It's, can you tell the story of football without
that person?
Yeah.
And, like, you can't tell the story without Eli Manning, right? Like he had them plays, like the helmet.
I'm hopping in right now. Jim Plunkett has more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah.
He only has 25,000 yards.
At a time when they didn't.
I get it, but there are still guys from that era that trounced him.
No. Hey, no, I'm not debating you. Right. Like, that's fine. That's fair. But you get my point when you talk about, like, if you get
I get it, but I'm saying, but here's the thing. If we're talking about 2 Super Bowls, right? Jim Plunkett or Eli Manning?
Eli.
Easy, right? Joe Flacco or Jim Plunkett?
How many Flacco has?
Flacco has one, but his playoff stats, bro, and he definitely does not have a touchdown to interception ratio. The interceptions are higher than touchdowns.
That's fair.
So you see what I'm saying? It's like, so Plunkett is not as high as I would. I get the 2 Super Bowls, but if you're looking at everything else,
I'm not saying that like Plunkett's better than him at all. But after, like, how long ago was he eligible? Like, at a certain point, you're like, all right, you got 2 Super Bowls, cool. You got moments, cool. But
his stats are bad.
I think
2 Super Bowls.
Stats are
starting QB 2 Super Bowls.
I think we have to like it'll be one of those things where, like, KDot's talking about, where he's not first ballot, maybe he gets in later, because you have to, like, kind of consider, like, if he and Rodgers like retire the same year, he's not getting in over Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not. Not getting
sometimes they put in multiple QBs at a time.
They do, but I think, considering all of the talent and everything of the people who still aren't in, he wouldn't get over some of them. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's bullshit, because, if I'm being completely honest, I think Rodgers is a lot lower on the list. I do. He has the 1 Super Bowl that you can attribute to the defense. And if we're talking about what did you have, right? What did you have? Mm-hmm. Name better. Did Matt Stafford or Aaron Rodgers have better teams every year?
Real quick.
All right, let me ask you this question. At what point is that Matt Stafford's fault? Because I knew he re-upped his contract. He could have left Detroit.
It's the Detroit thing. Everybody, it's the Detroit. It's the Detroit. Hold on. It's the Detroit.
Look, the Dame Lillard, same shit.
I get it. I get it. You
gotta leave Portland.
I think that's probably a fair point.
Leave Portland, and that's gonna be my final thought. We don't have to talk. I don't want to get into that right now, but I just want to say so. Before the year, CBS did like a list of quarterbacks who were like most likely to be in the Hall of Fame, and they had like here's their list: Stone Cold Locks, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. Safe bets: Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes. Premature candidates: Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert. On the outside looking in, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Matthew Stafford.
The only other person I'm adding to the list, and I want to know, is Phil.
Where's Rivers? But it was active quarterback.
What about Joe Burrow?
Like I mean, he didn't have. He had just had a year. He played like 9 games.
Fair enough. It was before the season. My bad. Before the season. My fault.
But no, so like, just looking at that, I just want to say, like, does he get it? Would you put Stafford over Ryan or Stafford over Cam?
I'd put him over Matt Ryan.
You put over Matt?
Doesn't Matt Ryan have MVP?
Yes.
Yeah, Matt Ryan is where it gets interesting.
He was up 28-3, and it wasn't his fault that they lost.
But here's the thing that I say about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan and Matt Stafford are like neck and neck for me.
Yeah.
I would usually pick Matt Ryan a little bit above. I was a Boston College fan. I love Matt Ryan, but I love both Matt
Ryan.
I know. Fuck you, Virginia Tech 07 for life. Beyond that shit,
why do you have to hurt me like that?
Because he loves you.
Matt Ryan, but here's what I also say. If Matt Ryan goes to LA this last offseason, I think we're looking at a similar outcome.
Arm strength is different, but
I think we're looking at a similar outcome in the sense of like
the difference. I think the difference will be Matt Ryan will win Super Bowl MVP. But I agree with you.
I could see that too. Like that's the thing. I think. But and also one other thing to the direct point of Richard Sherman, I think a lot of people are forgetting Matt Stafford's 2011 campaign, where he threw for over 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. He it was his third year. The motherfucker looked amazing. And Detroit didn't do a goddamn thing to help that man out.
And if we're looking at it,
could have left. Wait, is that his third year?
Yeah, but then there'd be a bunch of people saying what a pussy he was for leaving. Like I give him credit for the loyalty, and he got his championship.
But you can compare their Super Bowl performances. Matt Ryan's performance was much better against a better team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. You guys don't know this about Matt, but he's a huge Big Sean fan. Couldn't leave Detroit. No, but you're also looking at Matt Stafford's doing this in his 14th year in the league, 13th year in the league.
I think it's his 13th.
13th. This would be his 13th.
He's not out here like a spring chicken. He's still in like a pretty good form in his mid 30s. So I feel bad that he was wasted for so long in Detroit. He kind of deserves at least a look for the Hall of Fame just for sticking it out for that fucking godforsaken franchise. Like he tried to help Detroit do something decent. Like he was there. He didn't leave. So I'll give him at least half credit for that too. So
okay. Well, I don't want to stay too long because
that year they went 10-6.
Also,
we stayed on Stafford.
Real quick.
They went 10-6 that year.
Fuck Matt Ryan. Continue. We're moving on.
Okay. All right.
Matty Ice.
Now is the portion of the podcast where all of you can mute this unless you're a Washington Commanders fan. I'm giving the floor to KDot to give us his weekly rant about the Washington Commanders.
I don't remember what I said last week because it feels like it's all kind of the same shit. So here's this story. I remember James made it a point to, when we were first talking about the Washington Commanders name to point out how the years were wrong on the crest that we have. So great story about the phenomenal franchise that I root for in the Washington Commanders. So I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt because I know, like I said, over the years, I've watched programs and stuff where they use both dates, but everybody knows you use the date of the season which you're going into to mark the year Super Bowl champion. Even if you go to the stadium, it says 91 when we look at where it is that the championships happen in 87, 83, all that shit. So during the Super Bowl week, the Washington Commanders had a bit of an event out in LA where they had people come out and take a look at people that were pretending to be Jonathan Allen and Terry McLaurin. It was just like, they found 3 black guys that kind of look like football players. They threw them in the jerseys. It was really awkward.
Is this February? Was this in February?
Yeah, it's Washington. Come on. So they did it.
You root for them still?
Huh?
Why do you root for them still? That's
and he's
nuts.
just glossing over what's happening. But that's okay.
Beyond that, I told you it's a sickness. So beyond that, if you looked on one of the photos, you could see that they changed the years to Roman numerals on the bottom. And I looked at it, I was like, all right, that's kind of fresh. I kind of dig it, the Roman numerals on the thing. That's what's going to happen. So Washington goes to the league and saying, all right, we're going to change our crest. Mind you, this is less than 2 weeks after the big 2-year rollout of big name. The league then says, hey guys, no, that's what we do when it comes to the Super Bowls, the Roman numerals. You can't do it. Well, you sure? You sure, guys? We sure we can't do it? Fuck no. Go back to the drawing board. You could go change the years to the years that actually mean something. And now we're waiting because it's the most Washington Commander thing. That's the whole point. It's like we thought we were going to get a fresh start. No, the Commander's already starting on some bullshit. They probably won't change the years just because it would mean that they have to admit that they're wrong. So us as a fan base are just going to look at the incorrect years on the crest, knowing full well that they tried to change it. The league told them no, and we're just going to be willfully ignorant. And it's just beautiful, beautiful Washington history over the last 25 years here in around the district when it comes to football.
That's when Dan showed up, right?
99.
I want to say,
but we were on some bullshit right before that with Jack Kane Cook. Remember, he didn't pick the stadium site. That was Jack Kane Cook. He made that shitty ass decision.
I want to say to all current Washington whatever's fans, I'm so sorry. It's hard. It's really hard to watch. And like Josh, my boss, I love him to death. And he's in the same boat as you. He's just like, I'm just going to ignore all of that, everything, and I'm going to root for the players on the field. And it's so I can see how hard it is to just be like rooting for the players on the field, rooting for the players on the field, rooting for the players on the field. Like no Washington gear, no Washington stuff in the office, just so tough. I'm sorry. Because being the capital of this great country that's sometimes not so great, but this great country that's better than most deserves a better fucking franchise, right? Like ship Dan to Detroit. Can't get any worse.
So before we get out of the Commander thing,
just said.
Before we get out of the Commander thing, it's just another weekly reminder. God. The news came out this week that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys paid off $2.4 million to keep some potential sexual harassment quiet. Then they had everyone sign.
Wasn't it?
It was a settlement.
Yeah, it's a public settlement.
It was a settlement, but they all the victims and their spouses had to sign NDAs for all this kind of stuff. I'm still sticking with my prediction. There's a Cold War right now brewing between the league and Dan Snyder, and this is another salvo by Dan to let them know back to fuck off. And I don't think the league is going to do so this time. I think he's pissing everybody off just enough that this thing is going to get ugly, so much ugly that I think that there is a possibility or a chance you have a football team in Washington that's like not allowed to field a team because Dan's refusing to let it happen until things happen in court.
Dude, Dan is, I don't know, man, my Bible references are bad. Dan is coming in here, and if they take him down, he's basically doing this to everybody else.
Yeah. I think multiple owners are going to be taken out.
At
the end of this.
Hey, hear me out.
Including Jerry.
How about all of them except for one guy in Florida?
I think people wish that, but you don't really wish that.
What?
We all love the product, right? We love football. And we kind of want this thing to go big, but we don't want it to go so big that it ruins the NFL, which this has a possibility to ruin the NFL.
Go big, but don't go home.
The owners, just as much as they care about money, care about power. And if you're going to tell all these billionaires, baseball. I'm just saying, if we have to look, did y'all see the USFL rollout? Yeah, great fanfare. If the NFL could go
We were at
the
one of them,
USFL
right?
very soon, huh?
We were at one of them, right? We went to one game.
No, that was another league.
That was a different league.
All right. Well,
No,
look, like I said, don't go full baseball. Don't go
here's-
full MLB.
Here's Jesus. This week was very long. I'm searching for words here. We're gonna get there eventually. Here's a solution that I heard. There it is. Is so if we're all in agreement that the owners only care about money, I think
Power.
most people can. Here's the thing. Well, money. Well, which is more important? Do you think money or the power?
I think for Dan Snyder right now, it's
Money is
power.
power.
I don't think
Right.
that's the case for Dan right now.
So I heard.
Well, no. I agree with that.
I heard a proposed solution, which is so if you are as if you're the owner of a company, right? You have CEO, CFO, et cetera, in order to own the team, in order to be making most of the profit from the team, you're not allowed to make any team decisions. You hire people, or the league hires people, or there's a
way around that already.
There's a committee. I hear you. But then it puts it on the league to make sure that these are staffed by people who are going to be reporting back. The money side, you're still making all the money, but the league needs to protect itself at this point because it's clear that the owners themselves are self-destructing, right? We're seeing it in Dallas. We've been seeing it in Washington for like 20 years. We're seeing it down in Miami. There's a lot of issues. If the league wants to protect itself as a business, which it's kind of required to do, they got to make some changes in terms of who's actually holding the strings at the end of the day. That's one way to do it. I know
Another way.
nobody's going to agree to it, but it's one way to do it. At least getting the conversation started, right?
That comes to my mind is if you look out how it is in soccer, right? Okay. Where you got divisions and
that's
tiers.
Never going to work in the NFL because you don't have enough teams.
They're always trying to be more teams.
I'll tell you right now, if I'm a billionaire that owns a fucking team, you tell me I can't make decisions on the billion thing that go fuck yourself. What I will say is that they probably have a code of conduct policy that they need to adhere to and lower the threshold of other owners to kick somebody out.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Like a quorum, you get a quorum. That's a word I know.
Or like if you have 5 losing seasons in a row, you get kicked out of the league.
There's no one doing that.
No, if you have 5 losing seasons in a row, you have to commit harikiri if you're the owner.
Okay. Wow. All right. So we don't have a lot of time left, but I want to ask you guys, what would you like to pivot to? Either we can talk Olympics or the second half of the NBA.
I think the Olympics are more important.
I do too. And I also, how long's All-Star weekend? Week and a half?
It's a weekend.
So were you back to basketball starting Monday?
No.
Basketball starts
Thursday.
like Thursday. Right, next Thursday.
Yeah. The players get a week off.
We can sneak some shit in next week about basketball.
No, I think we're going to be a basketball heavy pod going forward.
Oh yeah. And I can talk about how the Lakers should trade Anthony Davis or think about
it. As long as we got to talk about goddamn Mavericks, I'm straight.
Right.
No, I already told you that's where you get muted. I already told you.
No, I don't want Anthony Davis on the team.
Oh, goddamn it.
Muted.
You don't?
No. Do not fall for this shit. We're not talking about it. What's next up?
I can talk about my final thought. It's fine.
I'm still gonna mute you.
Inquisitive.
I'm not. No,
I wasn't getting on you, James. I was getting on Keem.
Right.
Keem, do you when you're at Thanksgiving and two people were arguing about something an hour before?
Final thought. We'll talk about it. Keem. Final thought. We'll talk about it.
You do, don't you?
We'll talk about it, Keem. Final thought. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Let's move to the Olympics.
What do you think about?
See, look, we're wasting time right now. Go ahead. Transition to the Olympics. Because I ain't watched shit from the Olympics.
I know nothing, and I'm really here to listen and learn.
I thought you weren't allowed to transition into the Olympics.
Ooh. Wow. All right then, guys. When they cancel us 5 years from now, when we make it big, this will be the one.
That's the IOC. Yeah. Don't blame me. That's
I didn't say anything about the hot dog company over the air, right?
Oh no. That's
the only thing that'll end me.
Shit. Wait, we all still do have that episode.
Shut up. So the Olympics, amazing Olympics coverage. So I think everybody kind of got, even if you had, how many of you guys have actually watched any of the Winter Olympics, honestly? Just Ryan?
Hockey?
I watched them doing the curling while I was at work. Oh, look, they're curling.
I fuck with curling, dude.
My uncle was on the Canadian curling team, Olympic team. Whatever. The Jamaican Uncle Bishop.
Random as fuck. Jamaica, we have a bobsled team.
Wait, they actually made it this year. They made it.
But they have a bobsled team this year.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. They never do well.
Shit, really?
But it's cool. We got bobsled team.
Like the movie.
Yeah, we don't do it. Duh, it's Jamaica. There's no ice. The fucking
hey, man, look.
I get it. It's cool, but no. So, all right, the Winter Olympics, even if you haven't been paying attention, there's a lot of shit going on around the Olympics. But the thing that made the news more than anything this week was the story of 15-year-old Kamila Valieva, who's a Russian figure skater. Superstar, amazing, absolute phenom, already declared probably the best in the world. They were looking at tests. She tested positive back in December for banned substance, something that it's like a heart medication. Actually, she tested positive for more than one heart medication, and under no circumstance a 15-year-old should have. Her excuse was what she said, not what the Russian team said, is that she accidentally drank from the same glass as her grandfather and might have accidentally ingested her grandfather's meds because her grandfather takes that medicine.
Well, which is you pour it into a glass to ingest it.
Yeah, great excuse. No one buys that shit. So, but the big thing was that everybody remember already doing this podcast. We've talked about things like the Sha'Carri Richardson deal, which is you talk about marijuana, which actually gives you no performance enhancing at all. And she wasn't even allowed to get to the point in which she could go to the Olympics. And yet you have this 15-year-old that is able to compete. And the reason being that they said was that it would be detrimental to her mental well-being if they were to pull her from the games. So huge controversy. A lot of Olympic athletes were coming out against allowing her to compete, and they let it happen. So during the final round of the final events of this women's figure skating tournament, there's something called the free skate. In the free skate, she was going up, and it looked like she was a mortal lock to win gold. Actually, free skate is the thing that she's probably the best at more than anything. People kind of know what her routine's going to be. We all kind of know what everybody's routine's going to be after a certain period of time. Figure skating is actually one that I'm kind of into.
They actually have to, right? As a former figure skater, you have to write down the tricks that you're planning on attempting.
Right.
So that if you don't attempt it and you do a double instead of a triple, the judges know that you didn't succeed in what you were trying to do.
So she goes out.
Wait. We gonna skip past that?
What?
Ryan, you a former figure skater?
Yeah, figure skate all the way up until like 14 or 15. Then I went to hockey.
Yeah, he's 5'6".
No, I just didn't know.
I'm 5'2".
Yeah, he's 5'2". What are you talking
about? Yeah,
hey, what? You're not 5'2".
I'm 5'2" and a quarter, bro.
Check my license. I'm like 5'5". Ryan's the only person that makes me feel tall. All right, look, back to it. She did compete. Now, when she goes up to do her free skate, she's the last performer there. She goes on the ice. You can tell the commentators, everybody are just kind of like, this is just icky. We shouldn't be doing this. She goes out and has one of the worst performances you'll ever see anyone put together in the free skate. She is falling all over the place. You could see she could barely keep it together. It's like Patrick Mahomes in the second half of that AFC title game. If also he was just throwing balls into the stands. He was just like, Tyreek Hill, just launch it, just like fucking hit Zach Taylor in the fucking face on the sideline with a football. It was bad. And you could tell one of two things happened. Either what we really think, which is that a 15-year-old cracked under all the fucking pressure that was under her and didn't perform, or she might have threw it because she just knew it was not necessarily the right thing to do. I will say the first thing that I saw when she walked off was her Russian coach basically yelling at her. It translated, why'd you do that? What did you do? And why did you do that? And why did you throw it all away? No compassion, no shit for this girl. They don't give a fuck. That's gonna be a fun
movie. Go ahead. Keep going.
It is. Then you also talk the girl that placed in silver. She had done, and I don't know more than I do. She was doing this move that has never been done before, pretty much. And we all know that if she did it and she pulled it off, which she did, it should be an automatic gold. She didn't get gold according to what everybody knew she was going to do. She flipped shit. We all thought it was because of her teammate. There probably had a little bit to do with that because all these girls are constantly together. You see the person that won gold, the girl that won gold, no one's around her at all, which has just got to be a weird fucking feeling. It looked attainable. It looked like child abuse to me. As far as you look at these 15-year-olds kind of going through this shit and it's completely unnecessary. But beyond all of these things, which she shouldn't have been she shouldn't have been in that position to begin with because she tested positive for the banned substance. But even beyond that, you guys have not watched the Winter Olympics. You'll notice that Russia does not compete under the name Russia. They compete under the name ROC. The reason they compete under the name ROC is it's the Russian Olympic
rock in the air. Oh, sorry.
Fuck you. Russia is banned from the Olympics because of all the doping they do. The way found a loophole. They don't play their fucking national anthem and they don't use their flag. They just created a new team and showed up fucking anyway and told the IOC and everybody, yeah, fuck all. What are you going to do? It's bullshit. The IOC is full of shit. The ROC and their fucking child abuse bullshit program that they're running is horseshit and something needs to be done, which I think also the age limit probably needs to increase in the Olympics.
So let me step in right there because Valieva is like one of the top things I wanted to watch because you hear 15-year-old phenom hitting quad luxes. Nobody's ever done it before. I'm like, let me check this chick out. First off, the banned substance, performance enhancing, maybe, but she's not an Olympic sprinter. She's not gaining the skill or like getting a little extra oxygen, right? Is not really helping her like 4-minute routine, right? So I don't know if it was whatever the story is, I'm not buying it, but also not helping her that much. Steroids, maybe. Jump higher, jump longer. This, probably not. She's like a $110 soaking wet. That being said, don't have 15-year-olds in the Olympics. Don't do it. Have them at nationals, have them at worlds. Great. The Olympics, a little different. The Olympics, you're competing for your country. We saw this different sport. Rui Hachimura plays basketball for the Wizards, was out for almost 8 months because the Japanese hated his performance. They thought he was garbage and he had to take a mental health break. And this is a grown-ass adult, right?
And he has some very nice shoes coming out next month, and I want them, and I'm planning on getting them. But go ahead.
But don't put a 15-year-old in that position ever, right? Like you can watch any sport, right? That's why there is a World Cup and a 18 and under World Cup and a 16 and under World Cup. That's why they separate these giant world events, right? Second, the IOC is correct in saying that if you are below a certain age, you should not be responsible for the substances in your body because there's a good chance that you didn't know what you were doing. And if you're 16, you're not responsible for anything. You can't even fucking drive. Maybe in Russia. I don't know.
You can. I think their age is like 14. But go ahead.
Lastly, if a country is banned, I understand not wanting to ban their athletes. They are not individually responsible. But
what's the difference?
If you have a guy who steals all the time, right? And he's got like a bunch of family members and like a couple of them are also stealing, you got to be like, well, maybe it's the Kremlin, right?
Your example felt a little uncomfortable.
No, I'm just, see what I'm saying? I'm talking like the 1800s.
Okay. All right.
The Kremlin loves the kids, right? This is how they get back on the world stage. All they care about is the world stage. If the IOC wants to be 100% inclusive, I get it. Let them compete for any other country, right? Valieva could compete for fucking Jamaica, Sweden, North Africa,
that would be
Canada.
hilarious.
But what if we're trying to punish the country and not the competitor, have a rule where they can compete. Obviously, they will compete with another team, but no, none of their coaches, etc. Let them go compete. Let them be a part of a different country, right? Let them compete with them. But don't let Russia pull one over on anybody. This has been so horseshit. Like are they still leader in medal count? Go fuck off.
And
I heard there was an issue with like in snowboarding where the scores were like fucking ridiculous.
I forget who it was. It wasn't an American. Hit what can only be described as the perfect run. There's never been a run more perfectly run in the history of halfpipe. Didn't win gold. Yep. Didn't even score the highest on that run. Look, as far as I'm concerned, unless it's a counted sport, hockey, curling, that's all I can think of, right? What's the one where they do the shooting?
Ski shooting?
Decathlon. Unless it's a pointed sport, right? They have to have benchmarks, or else it's just going to be corrupt and kind of boring and also bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. Because the decathlon, if you're running, right, and you're faster, you win, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of these winter sports that don't have that. If you're in a bobsled and you're first down, right, you win.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the major sports have had controversy in that aspect. You look at Formula One.
It's the same problem with boxing. It's the same problem with boxing that we've had for 30, 40 years. Like, and if you can't see that it's hurting the brand of the Olympics, then you're foolish.
Olympics brand is shit.
No, Olympic hockey has been thin.
Same thing. The World Cup's brand is shit. To the fact they're even agreeing to play in slave-built stadiums in Qatar, whatever. Yeah. But
there's another part of that though. What time is it being played?
In the summer?
No, in the winter.
It's played in the winter this year because it's so fucking hot there. It's some bullshit.
Whatever. Like, the Russian figure skating head coach, Eteri Tutberidze, I think is her name. Mm-hmm. She needs to fucking go. There's no reason she should be allowed in the fucking Olympics. If you hear her quotes on what it is when these girls are experiencing like bulimia and anorexia, and the fact that she's okay with eating disorders, and even the 15-year-old, I think it was the 15-year-old or the silver medalist, is known with the coach of having a good reputation because she's okay with having an all-powder diet. Fuck the fuck off. They're fucking 15 years old. It's fucking bullshit. When I watched that goddamn event, I will admit I bawled like a little bitch. I can't even tell anybody to watch that shit. It was that fucking hard to deal with. It should never happen again.
I would just like to close with the Kremlin doesn't love the kids, but I'll tell you who does. Trick loves the kids. You can believe that.
Okay. And with that said,
like that shit could have went so many different ways.
I know. I was terrified.
Trick a lot of kids, though. Trick a lot of kids.
And he does. Man. Look how he gives back. He gives back.
I thought he was going to say Jared Fogle. I thought he was going to say Jerry Sandusky. I thought he was going to go a lot.
I mean, look, you know what? And then you just say all the fucking names. Cool.
Hey. I'm high. I got no filter.
I just want to go to our final thoughts. And I'll start.
I love this. Has been fun. This has been one of my favorite
great
episodes so far.
I want to start final thoughts with my own thought. Give Damian Lillard a rest. It's fucking sickening. Like, stop the shit. Like, you fans can't have it both ways. I tweeted this, but it literally doesn't make sense to me. You can't be like, oh, KD jumping teams, LeBron jumping teams, all the superstars jumping teams. The shit is weak. Oh, I miss the old days when you was real. You was like Michael Jordan. You was staying on the same team. And you was like that rapist, that pedophile Karl Malone. You know what I'm saying? And you just stand on the same team and stuff like that. I remember those days. I miss those days. You can't be saying shit like that. And then when Dame is like, I'm gonna stay in Portland, you get fucking upset. That shit is stupid. That shit is fucking stupid. It makes no fucking sense. Leave the man alone. If he want to stay there and go to Dirk route, let him go to Dirk route. They made some good moves this year to put themselves in position to be in free agency and make trades and all this bullshit. Hey, fine. If he don't get there, he don't get there. It don't matter. It's just sports, bro. Let the man choose his own fucking legacy. Get off of his dick. Get your head out of your ass and his. Leave him alone. It don't fucking matter. However he want to do it, let him do it.
And
I think he just gotta curse somebody out.
Hey, I like.
I think he probably do. He probably should. He probably should.
Look, from Oakland, he can do it.
Look,
he got that in.
I've only been to Portland once, and it wasn't really for me. But look, if you find a place, say you're comfy, your family's comfy, everybody's comfy, and you think you're happy with your job, who the fuck cares? Like, leave the man alone. And the man is still balling. It's still his time, ain't it? It's his time, not yours. Leave him alone. Leave the poor guy alone. Maybe him and CJ didn't really like each other. Do you even know? You don't.
No, they did.
Shut up.
I think he might go like the LeBron route at some point. It's like, you know what? Just leave and then come back to Portland, win.
No, I think.
Hey, I think got that much time left to be going right.
Or he can go the Gary Payton and Karl Malone route. Like, never mind. I shouldn't say Karl Malone.
Like 36. When you like 36.
Yeah, it looks like, you know what? Fuck it. We gonna hook up in like LA or some shit. Like, try to win.
If Cleveland is any proof that the young players can get it done, there's a lot of good pieces they can bring into Portland right now, right? And did you guys just see the Kings trade their future player, like their number one guy? They just traded him off, right? And look what he's doing, pacing people. You see what I did? Like there is hope yet for Dame, and he's like, look, I'm gonna grind here, and they have
just gotta stop asking him.
They have the cap right now to bring in some people to put around him, and they're probably going to bring in his people, and he's okay with that. Leave the man alone.
Yeah, you can go ahead and get Donovan, get his ass out of Utah, or Gobert. You can't get both because they don't like each other.
Who knows? You probably get both.
They don't like each other.
I need y'all on my time, and they'll be like, all right, who knows?
All right.
Or they try to give Dame the defensive piece he's always needed.
Yeah, Nurkic for Gobert.
Oh, Nurkic is really good though.
Nurkic and a pick and another pick, and now you got Anthony Simons and Dame and Gobert, and that's a decent three.
Dude, Anthony's kind of been balling too.
Yeah,
like, he's been doing great this season.
I should have sold his prism.
My final thoughts, real quick. I think I've never really hated somebody before until Rob Manfred. Like I've never like somebody I don't know. Like if I know somebody, I can hate them because I have this thing. I see you. I see who you are as a person, and you're a piece of shit. Rob Manfred, I've never met. I rarely listen to him because he's a moron and everything that he says is stupid. But I hate him. If you don't like your job, you're never going to be good at it. You guys heard this? Like, if you don't enjoy going to work every day, you're never going to be good at it because you're never trying to put your all into it. You don't care about the outcome. That's Rob Manfred. He clearly doesn't like his job because nobody could be that bad. Nobody can do his job and hate baseball. He's got to go. Nothing has been worse than the last 5 years of him being in baseball. I hope, you know how they used to like lock people in those metal cages and drop them in the ocean and you never saw them again? That's what I hope for Rob Manfred. Ruining baseball. They're not asking for that much, and these meetings are lasting 10 minutes, which means you're not serious about what the players want, which is your product. So
that was a thing, metal boxes in the ocean.
Yeah, if they thought you were a witch, they would put you in the metal box and drop you to the bottom of the ocean so that you couldn't do your witchery and like get out and like haunt the neighborhood or whatever they thought back in the day. No, but you can't do that because the witch is evil, right? You got to bury it in the ocean.
Well, in some cases they would like tie you to like a cinder block, and if you like, which was stupid as hell, was like if you floated, they like, oh, you're not a witch, and you're fine. But if you sunk, then you were a witch, and it did.
I missed witch time in history in high school. I'm sorry. I guess
you did. It was good though.
I was too focused on
and if they set you on fire and you burn,
you were too busy looking for your Rolexes that you constantly.
I didn't look for it.
Hey,
I didn't look for it. It was gone, and I was like, I'm not gonna find out who did it, so it's cool.
Man, we all gotta uplift each other. not put each other
Yeah,
down.
you know what? I gave back to the community.
Except for Rob Manfred. You know what?
You got it. You need that watch. It's cool. I don't need it.
Fuck.
Okay, Richie, do you want to go with your final thought next?
KDot, go ahead.
No, Richie Rich.
I'm poor.
Richie Rich.
Fuck out.
You ain't fucking poor. Stop with this bullshit.
No, you've been long term rich, my
I have not.
So, like, we're talking about
I have not been long term rich. I am not long term rich. Why are you trying to get people on me? No, I am poor. I am poor.
You know, PG County is the most affluent black county in the country.
Yeah, and I want to raise my kids here, like on some real shit. I actually had to talk with that with my wife.
So what you're expecting of like Bel Air, that's what James grew up with.
I'm not watching that shit
show. Look, this
I'm
like
so high.
All right, I know,
James,
but like
James,
KDot,
I hope you get.
Do you have a final thought, James?
I do.
James,
like we were just talking about.
James, I hope you get richer and never stop getting richer, bud.
Thank you, appreciate you. So it's always your friends, man. All right, so we were talking earlier about AD, like. And I was like, I don't want him on the team. And that's true. It's the same shit with, all right, AD's a way better player than KP. We all agree there, right?
No.
This is your final thought. I'm not participating.
No, just fucking answer the question. What the fuck? Like,
I agree.
Right. Ryan, you think KP's a better player than AD?
I just recently saw what Giannis did to him, and I can't support that kind of behavior.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So, all right, Ryan, we're not talking to you anymore. So you stay over there. All right. KDot.
Nope. Last time I said anything about what AD was, I didn't stop hearing about it. So I'm out. I don't want to hear him tell shit about AD.
This is a low bar though.
Mid-range. Mr. Mid-range. Oh.
Wait. Are you not answering because the KP's on your Wizards now?
It's almost like tampering.
Oh my God. All right, Kim, this is me and your conversation. We're not gonna talk to these two fucktards right now. All right, cool. So
okay.
You said my fucktard were, you piece of shit.
Look at how much
I agree with you. Yes, he's way better than KP has ever been or ever will be.
Right. All right. So we're on the same page. All right. The only issue is this fucker is always hurt, fam. Like,
okay.
Like he twists his ankle, so he's gonna be reevaluated in another 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Again, like there's no reason that he should be as hurt as he is, like as often as he is.
Right. I agree with
so
that.
It's like that's my only gripe against him. If he was on the team and he was playing and he's healthy, like that's fucking amazing. But other than that, I don't think he's gonna be there as often as he needs to be. That's it. That's the only reason why.
That's fair. The last 3 years, so Luka Doncic played 66 games last year, and then he played 61 the year before that, and then the year before that he played 72, and this year he's played 44 so far. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just want to say that motherfucker missed games too. And so
but it's not all because of injury, but okay.
No, of course not. But you know, if you were to look at it, him in comparison to AD, the last 4 years, it's not as bad as you would think.
How many games did AD miss this year?
I don't know how many. I can tell you how many he played. 37. Right. So he's at 37.
All right.
So far.
And like by the time, and then if we go into like the next 4 weeks where he's missing all them games, then it's going to be nuts.
I'm with you. The year before that, he played 36. That's bad. I don't know how he did that. It was only 72 games, but still, that's bad. Because he missed like the second half of the season last year. And the year before that, he played 62 games. And the year before that, I don't think that one counts. But with the Pelicans, he played 56. But I remember he was sitting out. He was sitting out. It was a Rich Paul thing. He could have played like 68.
No, it was a Rich Paul.
He was Zion.
The Rich Paul like package, you know, like Ben Simmons did the same shit. So okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at the end of the day, it's kind of like if you look at like outside of him missing games, right? There's a bunch of those games where he was hurt, went to the locker room, came back. Like, if I feel like I see that every week with him.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
Right. Yes. So it's kind of like he falls awkwardly for some reason. It's like every time he moves around the court, like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Them brows is heavy, bro.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, like durability is a major question.
Yeah.
And he's coming off of KP, I don't want to deal with that shit anymore.
So your final thought was just, I don't want AD on my team. I like it.
No, that's what we were talking about. So I was like, you know what? Like, let's discuss. Like, because we didn't want to do it during the pod, so let's do it at the back end. Fine.
I just think you'll never find a better number 2 for Luka right now than AD.
That's fair. But if he's healthy and playing, I don't think he's ever going to be healthy again.
Christian Wood.
Okay, so let's just say he misses like the next 4 weeks, but he's healthy for the playoffs. If he was healthy for the playoffs with Luka,
that would be amazing.
Isn't that?
I don't think he's going to be healthy for the playoffs. That's
all you want, right? Like,
but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
Hey,
I honestly don't think it's going to happen.
Go get Christian Wood from the Rockets.
Well, I mean, trade deadline's passed, but yeah,
that would be great. Season, go get Christian Wood
or Jonathan Collins. That would be great.
Christian Wood might be better just because of his height, but
yeah, and hopefully he'll be cheaper, and we might it's a short drive, a shorter drive.
The Rockets have some pieces that they're going to need to move, and a lot of them are really good pieces for Dallas. So if you're going to look anywhere, look towards Houston. Anyways, I am like well over my time limit, so let's if I can give it to KDot.
Yeah,
if I can step in.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a show that was on Adult Swim. I'm an Adult Swim kid, or adult really too. And
Futurama.
I mean, Adult Swim original content. And Futurama without Bender is not Futurama. Get that shit figured out.
Wait, Bender's gone?
They're bringing it back and they can't get the contract thing going. But there's a show that got released last year on Adult Swim, and it's on HBO Max that I strongly recommend. It's called Smiling Friends. If you're into cartoons,
oh, so good. It's still
Smiling Friends, amazing.
It's still on Cartoon. Is it Cartoon Network?
Yeah, yes. But it's Adult Swim has all their content on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, you watch it.
It's a Warner Brothers company.
Really?
I watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast and the Brack Show and shit all the fucking time still late at night when I'm stoned. But Smiling Friends, right? Also, when you're watching this, if I get this episode up on Saturday, which I might not, it's my birthday. Which is usually a day that I fucking hate. I don't like getting a year older. I'm usually really, really depressed. But I think if I just stay high the entire time, I'll be okay. And that's an okay way to deal with things.
Hey,
so
you need to do this right now. What's your Cash App?
What?
What's your Cash App?
I'm not
say it.
Birthday money.
I don't know what my Cash App is, honestly.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Wait, can you post it on the video?
Yeah, I guess I could.
Yeah, and fucking tell us too, please.
I'm gonna request so much money from you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Any money that is the Super Bowl is over, which means I got bills due to Keem. So any money it's given to Keem. We're good right now. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, can I try and drop it on your house as I fly over it tomorrow?
Fuck away from me.
I'm cool with that.
Keep all planes away from me.
Keem.
Oh, Keem. Oh, yeah, you're gonna be in North Carolina.
Yeah. Wait, which Carolina are you live in? I'm always confused.
North Carolina, Charlotte.
Oh man, I wish I knew that. I'm stopping. My dad bought a house in Southport, so
okay.
It's not close, but it's a fuck ton closer than here.
yeah, it's closer. It's closer than DC.
You like how? Yeah, man. Always thinking.
All right. Well, I guess.
KDot, at this point, you only owe Keem $200.
Wow, that was a lot. Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you, James.
I'm not regretting saying that. I just kind of want the money, and I was just gonna have Keem waiting.
Well, now you owe him $200.
Right, so fucking fair enough.
I love you all. I will see you.
You should have just said your fucking Cash App. My
bitches.
Love you all. Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, happy birthday, man. Like, I gave you a gift.
33. Just count down to death. Let's go.
Hey, I'm already 33. Let's go. Look how happy I am.
Sammy, Ball's number.